What's up? What's up? What's up? How's everybody doing? Forza Milan, Forza Milan. wow, wow, wow. Champions League day is done. Um, we just watched Inter tie 3-3 against Barcelona. I have a few things to say about that game, but I want to kind of get out of my chest. First of all, let's start with this. Um, what's up, Christian? So Barcelona is just not the team that everyone thinks it is or whatever. They don't. They're not doing what they used to do. It's become a pretty normal team that just depends on not anymore on a system, on an idea of play, or the tiki taka way, their philosophy. It just exists on the individualities of certain of their players, but they still have a little bit of that possession game. But Inter, on the other hand, um, is just an embodiment of this issue that I have with Italian coaches. Uh, I mean, first of all, like this whole defensive five, I don't like. It invites the opposition into your own half. But then, after they were able to get that 3-2, I saw a little bit of what Pioli did against Atletico Madrid. I saw a 7-1 on that pitch. So for the last 6 minutes, Inter had decided that they were going to defend in a 7-1. So of course you're going to you're going to you're obviously going to suffer the pressure of the adversaries if you defend with such a low line. I mean, seven defenders. Well, anyway, it is what it is. Inzaghi, his changes, the way he does his changes are just not good. They really are not. We're not good. Inzaghi is not a great coach. Like I just don't like his ultra defensive methods and styles. He could have won that game, and also Inter did have the opportunity to win that game at the end. But Aslani, wanting to be a freaking hero, he could have been a hero if he did what he ought to have done, which was pass the ball across the goal, and that would have been a certain victory for Inter at that point. But he wanted to be here and score himself. Like, what the fuck is this? What is up with that? So he could have they could have won the game, but this defensive attitude, this defensive mind, seven defenders, and just absorb pressure, hit him on the counterattack. I don't know, man. I'm kind of allergic to this style of football. I'm allergic to this style of football, and I don't like it because I'm more about courage. I'm more about not being scared of trying the impossible, and I'm more about pressing in a more advanced position on the field. If you press higher, you can do much better, I think, because when you press higher, then it is more difficult for the team to come forward. So you have to keep on pressing for 90 minutes high, even if it is against Barcelona, because especially this Barcelona. So I think Inter could have won this game, but again, this Italian mentality that has haunted Italian football for the past decade is was very present tonight. But Inter now has the advantage, so good for them. Let's check out the so Inter here at second spot, and they are 3 points ahead of Barcelona. So that is a really good advantage. So if Inter beat Pleasant or whatever, it's done. It's mathematically impossible for Barcelona to go through. So now Inter has put themselves in a very good spot. Nobody would have ever guessed that, right? Everybody, oh man, Bayern and Barcelona have obviously, right? Um, so This game felt like a knockout. It was a knockout game in the end. It turned out to be a knockout game because now Inter is in the driver's seat, and if they don't get any points from Pleasant, or they tie, if they tie or they lose, then Inter needs to get the fuck out of Serie A. Just quit. Just get out of Serie A. Just get out of just we we'll give you away to some other fucking league. Just get out. So if it can be Pleasant or whatever, however you say this team name, they are total bums. But they have put themselves in a great position now to go through and send Barcelona to the Europa League. So I want to say congratulations, Inter. Well done. You guys did something that is very difficult to do. You went through. You're on the verge of going through uh, a um, a group that is the group of death. You know, so well done to Inter. I can only but applaud their Champions League run so far. Bayern is obviously one of the best teams in Europe. That is no doubt about it. And remember how I said the reason why Napoli is an elite team is because they have the most one of the most elite attacks so far. I mean, no, in Europe in general. And how do you determine how elite your attack is? By the goals scored. So let's go through this. Let's look at this. Napoli, 17 goals, 4 against. But look at that, 17 goals. So when I said why Napoli is one of the best teams in Europe, is because, and I said because they have an elite striker. I They have elite attackers. This can be backed up by the numbers. In Europe, they have 17 goals. Liverpool has 12. They scored most of them today. Here, nobody gets to 10. Bayern has 13 in a group of death, which is pretty good. But a lot of those goals are coming from Pleasant here, 16 goals conceded. And you can also argue that Napoli has a group of semi-death, right? Chelsea has 6 goals, 2 conceded. Milan have 4 goals, 7 conceded. So Milan not in a good situation at all when it comes to those kind of numbers. Real Madrid 8 goals, 2 conceded from Real Madrid. But look who their group stage is. But anyway, defense wins you championships. Defense wins you championships. And speaking about the winner, who should be only 1 goal conceded from Man City. So this is the stat usually that tells you. I mean, right now you can't use these stats to tell you who's going to win the Champions League. But these stats are usually indicators. They give you a certain direction. They give you certain hints. 11 goals. So Napoli, offensively wise, 4 games into the Champions League, has shown, even against the teams they play, that they are one of the elite teams of Europe because of their offense. And defensively, they're doing very well too. Um, Yo, Antonio, what's up?
Hey, Roy.
Whoa,
What's up?
easy, bro. Loud.
Oh, I'm
What's
loud.
what's going on?
Is my mic too loud?
Sorry. Keep on going.
Am I better now, or?
No, you're good. You're good.
Okay, yeah. I just noticed you were live, so I only for 10 minutes though, right? You've been live.
Okay, no. I was just analyzing the Champions League games. I was looking at the Inter games.
Yeah, I
Uh,
watched the Inter game, and I watched most. I was watching this afternoon. I was able to watch like the whole second half of Napoli and the whole Inter game.
yeah, so I just spoke about Inter. And for me, Inter, the big problem is this Italian mentality of defense, 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 defense. By the way, Vice Verasquilla is out of this world. Out of this world. Like his setup that he did with Raspadori today. First of all, Raspadori is out of this world too. Like both of them are out of this world. So the setup he did for Raspadori today was unbelievable. Unbelievable.
Hey, Roy. Let me give you some of my thoughts. Well, first, just really quick, because I want to talk about Inter later. But first, I will say that just my general thoughts about Inter. Although they do play like that, I'm happy that they played like that against Barcelona, especially away. And I think that I'm happy for them because I want as many Italian teams to advance. I don't want them to win the competition, obviously, but I want them to pass the group so we don't get bantered as a league. And then, so about Napoli, the reason why I was calling you earlier, because I wanted to, I guess, admit where I was wrong, because I like to think of myself as a pretty objective fan, and I will admit when I make mistakes, and I'll be the bigger man sometimes. Although you guys don't do that when I'm right and you guys disagree, but it's all right. I'll just do it in this situation. I will say that um, Raspadori, I will retract my statement about him not being able to become a top class player. I think that from what I've been seeing these games, is the way he finishes with both feet and just his movement. I still don't think I don't know if he's at it right now, but I think that when I was reevaluating him versus CDK's potential, I think that they're a lot. It's a lot closer than I thought, and yeah, like I think I'm gonna have to retract that statement that I made because he is looking really good, which is good for Italy, of course. And then my other thing, yeah, Napoli today, the way they were scoring their goals made me also agree with what you were saying about just the level. Like, it's not even. I'm not saying that I disagree with you when you said that they're like the best team, like in Europe or whatever. I know they have to do more to prove that to me, but I will agree with you when like by their style of play. When you say that they play like in another atmosphere, I mean the way they were linking up, like that, it was magical today. So yeah, like fair point, fair point. But yeah, no, I'm just being honest, and I think I have to start agreeing with you on those 2 points right there. But yeah, they're really impressive and very very good for Italy. I really hope that Milan will be able to get these big like win just these 2 games, and Zagreb away is very difficult, but I want us to go through because if 3 out of the 4 Italian teams go through, because I don't think Juventus is done and they're playing terrible, and Allegri is not going to be sacked because he has some sort of protection. So if we can go through with Napoli and Inter, that would be fantastic. I think that's pretty successful for Italy, and I just don't want us to be one of the teams that doesn't make it. Yeah, and then one more thing. I don't know if you're still listening, Roy, but my my dad my dad is actually flying to Italy to watch the Milan RB Salzburg game in San Siro, and then he's going to like my family's like a family party that they're doing. But he
Nice.
decided this week that he's going to fly out there, and the events kind of lined up so that he can go watch the game and then also go do stuff. So I'm really jealous of
That's
him.
awesome.
But yeah, I don't think he's going to be able to
We all
vlog.
are. We all are.
Yeah, yeah. Hopefully we don't. I hope we can beat Zagreb away because I think although Salzburg is more dangerous overall, so Zagreb away, I'm telling you guys right now, if you guys are underestimating them, be careful because playing in Croatia in their stadium, like they're much, much better than they are away. Like they have a really good record. So yeah.
Yeah. Okay. So regarding Raspadori, I mean, honestly, I knew eventually you're going to see it because everybody's going to see it soon. But yeah, I'm glad you see that. I'm glad you see that. And as far as Napoli, yeah, they have transcended. This reminds me of when I saw Milan in 2003, when Milan was going through that patch of trying to figure out how to become the next best team. And then all of a sudden in 2003, you watch them play, and then they have transcended in this next stratosphere of just precision football, of just there's so much talent in that team that you have a supernova explode. And then all of a sudden, it's the Matrix. Everybody is connected. They know how to find each other because everybody is so precise that everybody's relaxed. And they know that if I give the ball to him, I'm going to get it back. So when there is that level of relaxation amongst each other, it's like, yeah, they transcend into a different stratosphere. So Napoli has achieved that. Well done for them. I don't say they're the best team in Europe. I say they're one of the best teams in Europe. That's it.
That's a fair point. That's a fair point. I would agree with you on that. It's just sometimes I would just hold back a little bit when we say like crazy things, but overall, like there's based on their style of play, it's they have transcended because I don't see many teams. I mean, the way that they were able to just link up for the first two goals, like I was watching in my university class today, and I almost like yelled out loud. I was like, "Wow!" I was watching after 4 minutes. They flicked over a ball one touch into Lozano to score, and he with his guided the header perfectly. And this is a team, I guess, this is against Ajax, who just got beat like six. I think was it 6-1, in their own home, and so they were coming after them, trying to get revenge. And boom, after 4 minutes, they just silenced them. Like, and then I did also tell you this, but having like good refereeing in games is also important, and I'm really upset with
Yeah,
what happened with Milan because did you see the Mason Mount interview?
I read it. I didn't see it. I read it.
Fair play to Mason Mount, and I think the only reason why he gave that interview was because Tomori is his friend. Like he wouldn't have done it if Tomori wasn't
Yeah,
his.
makes
But
sense.
Tomori, like, I mean, he was getting he had to walk off the field early, getting red carded against like his former teammates. It was just a terror. I was happy that I was kind of like disconnected from that because I was in the middle of doing a thing for school.
Mm.
But I mean, I was looking and I couldn't believe what I was watching. Like it
Yeah,
was
it was. It left me speechless.
terrible.
Yesterday, I was after I seen the red card and the because of the foul. Because I mean, I don't even know if that was a penalty, man. Like I
Yeah,
don't.
if it is a penalty, that's fine, but it's not a yellow. And the biggest thing is, whenever these things happen, like against Atletico Madrid, at first when it happens and the ref pulls out the red card, you're like, okay, wait a second, but you don't actually believe that it's happening because it just doesn't seem like a red card. Then, in the back of my mind, I think, okay, the VAR is going to come and check it, and they're not going to give the red card. But then the VAR never calls them, and nothing ever happens, and they just proceed and like it doesn't. I don't understand. Like, where's the consistency?
I don't understand it either. I don't understand how he wasn't spoken in the ear. Hey, do you want to check this again? Because it is impossible to think that every referee, especially when there's like 4 or 5 or 6 referees, all would agree. Yeah, that is a direct red card. I don't think. I don't know. Like if he can't do that, or he has to ask them first, or I don't know what the rules are exactly. But to me, it was a side hustle. The guy's side hustled yesterday. He made a lot of money. He made a lot of money yesterday, and I'll stick with that narrative because you know what? I have every fucking right to do that at this point. I have every right to do that. The referees are given the green light to side hustle when it comes to Milan. Give me a reason why I should not believe that at this point.
Yeah,
Because oh no, go ahead. Yeah,
no, I was gonna say that most of the people in the football world would agree that it was definitely not a red, and they'll say that maybe it wasn't even a penalty. So that like you just know like it's not you're not crazy and you're not being like super biased to say that if you're a Milan fan, and so I'm fine with saying that. I'm pretty objective. I don't really even against our rivals, like Inter today. I actually liked their performance, and I'm happy for them. So I want to see the Serie A team succeed. And it just seeing that happen to Milan is just so painful.
yeah.
Think,
It's annoying because we haven't been able to see Milan yet, right? In a big game at the San Siro, both times these super calls have been these super outlandish calls have been made at the San Siro early in the game, and then the last time you could say yeah maybe because he deserved that red card, but then the final call was just outrageous. The final call with Kalulu, outrageous. But yeah, I think that Milan, even that depleted Milan, the Milan that we had right now, was good enough to sneak something around Chelsea. Yeah, it was going to be difficult. It was going to be a difficult game. Chelsea. This is one thing that Chelsea has. But I'm looking at this Chelsea, what their weapons are. So first of all, footballing wise, they have zero weapons. Zero weapons. That team is as square as as the most perfect square in the shape in the world. So they don't have anything there. What they have is very good press and very fast press, and they can recover the ball fast. That is all they have. That is literally all they have. And I guess it makes sense why they want to get in Kuku, because they fucking need a creativity. So that team was a team that eventually you are going to create opportunities, and then it's up to you taking those opportunities. If you take them and they don't, you win the game. So 11v11, we had the chance to win that game, and we were robbed from that again by referees that are side hustling. They're part of these betting worlds or whatever, and they're making money.
Yeah, and Roy, I will say this though about Chelsea. Like I said, I want to be objective, and the red card ruined the game, and so you can't really judge like Chelsea's performance because they were playing against a team that with a man down, and they have obviously a deeper team than we do. I will say though, like I thought Kovacic was pretty good. Also, with the circumstances, I think I want to ask you this question because I just was honest about Raspadori and Napoli and everything. But you can't tell me that Reece James isn't a great player because he was the one who assisted the Mason Mount penalty. It was a great ball. It was perfectly weighted for Mason Mount to go in. And on top of that, his defending on Leao was good for the most part. Yes, Leao got him a couple of times, but overall, I think he had a really solid game again.
Yes, I do not lie, Antonio, because I have no reason to lie. I do not push any agendas. I don't push anything. Um, I don't. And if I do, maybe I do it subconsciously, but I don't.
Your Romagnoli agenda was terrible. Like I'm
My,
just saying, dude,
my what?
your like one of your older Romagnoli agendas was absolutely terrible.
Why?
I'm just
No,
oh
actually, I think I'm right.
no, you were
Because
you were
look at Lazio's defense. It's one of the best in Serie A right now.
saying he was as good as Virgil van Dijk and shit back when he was.
Okay. Maybe I was trolling that then, but let's talk about now, because right now I have no reason to. I'm 100% honest. This is the thing about England, okay? And I'll say it, and I'll keep on saying it.
But
If
right, I know what you're going to say about England. I don't want you to compliment England. I'm just saying
no, but let me finish.
the player is pretty good.
If Di Lorenzo was the exact same player but played for Chelsea, he would be, and he was English. He would be, or even if he wasn't English, but let's say if he was English, he would be now nominated in the top footballers on the planet. The same way Scamacca in Italy, everybody was saying this guy is never going to do anything. He's shit. Scores 2 goals in the EPL. All of a sudden, wow, Scamacca, what a player. And he is a great player, by the way. Oh, he obviously is. And he's showing it, right? So I do not fall for this crap. I see Reece James. He is basically Di Lorenzo. He is Di Lorenzo.
I don't see Di Lorenzo scoring like top bit like top corner screamers to be honest, but that's I mean I guess we can slightly disagree. I think Reece James though is more of like he's just well rounded. He's really good in the attack and he also defends really well. But whatever. That's just I thought I could I don't know. I just want you to I mean if you just said that he's Di Lorenzo,
Yeah.
you like Di Lorenzo, so
He's a top. Di Lorenzo is a top player. Yeah.
So that means you think Reece James is a top player too.
Yeah. You can
All
see
right,
he's a
so
top player.
that's all I wanted. That's all I wanted you to.
But he's not one. He's nowhere close to being one of the greatest. Like nowhere close.
I never said. What do you mean one of the? I never said he
You
was.
said he was the best right back. A lot
Yeah,
of people were saying
right
he was
now,
the
there's
right back.
really too many great right backs in the world, like that are actively playing.
Okay, but no, he's definitely not. I would take Di Lorenzo over him. I would take Darmian over him. I would take Bellanova over him.
Come on.
No. Yeah, I'm just not seeing. Whatever. Anyway, I answered that question, and I answered honestly. I'm not here trying to push any agendas, and I'm serious about Chelsea. Like Chelsea does not play good football. Like, oh yeah, they play good at good pressing. They play good pressing, but when it comes to moving the ball around, it's very poor. What we saw yesterday was extremely poor from Chelsea. Um, So I'm really disappointed because we could have beaten this team. Because one thing is if you press like that, but then you have, let's say, a striking force and creativity on the pitch, and you're always in all, like eventually you're forced to play defensively and blah blah blah. But they don't. They press and recover really well, but on the ball they're super predictable. They don't do anything creative. It's a very bland team, and I'm just pissed off. The referees robbed us again of seeing what Milan can do, even in a depleted situation.
Yeah, it's sad, but let's do some quick maths. Can you go to our group real quick?
Sure, yeah.
So let's just say let's calculate if we win both games. That basically should guarantee us, right? If we win both games against Salzburg and Zagreb, we would have plus 6 points. So we'd have 10 points. Now, Salzburg has 6. If they lose to us, that means the maximum they could gain is 3. So they would be at 9 points if we beat them. If they beat Chelsea somehow as well, which is unlikely.
Maybe. Don't count it out.
Yeah, but I'm just saying. So if we win both games against Salzburg and Zagreb, we go through. So that is confirmed. So
Yes.
we have 100% our fate is in our own hands. Now let's
Yeah.
consider some other situations because I can see us tying away at Zagreb, or some stuff happening.
Yeah.
So
It's always possible, of course.
so if we tie Zagreb, we gain 1 point. We'd both be at 5, and Salzburg could beat Chelsea, but they are playing in Salzburg, so that is dangerous. Uh, in that,
Yeah. Yeah. I don't see Chelsea beating Salzburg.
if they tie, if they were to tie Chelsea in Salzburg, they would have 7 points, and we would have 5. So if we go to, we would be going into you know, the San Siro on the last match day with us being able to beat them to go through. But then again, if we tie Salzburg, they go through. So we have to get as many points as possible. I'm just thinking we can't lose. If we lose to Zagreb, we're basically screwed. Wait, like,
Yeah. Yeah.
because then they would have 7 points. We would have
It,
4.
it'd be done. It'd be over.
Yeah.
So we can't lose. We have to win, and we have all the tools that we have in order
Well,
to win.
actually, Roy, actually, I think no. We still have a chance because if Zagreb beat us, they would have 7. We would have 4. But if they beat us by 1 goal, we have head-to-head goal advantage over them. And if Chelsea would have to just dominate Salzburg, and then if we were to beat Salzburg, we could get 7. And if Chelsea beat Zagreb, Zagreb would be stuck at 7. We'd both have 7 points, but we would go through because of our head-to-head against if unless Zagreb beat us by many many goals. So there's many chances. So
Yeah, yeah, yeah. I mean, there is more. Obviously, the best solution would just be win both games, and don't be in the hands of fate. Rather, make
yeah,
your own fate, create your own destiny.
I think the best situation would be, well, if we like, okay, let's say we beat Zagreb, it would be a great. That's huge. We have 7 points, and let's say Chelsea beats Salzburg, and Salzburg would have 6. They'd be 1 point behind us. Um, I'm curious to like find out how, beyond head to head, what is the next category for deciding what team is above another, because
Goal difference.
and we suffered against Chelsea a lot with our goal difference.
Yeah, yeah. If we go head to head with Chelsea, we obviously lose.
Well, yeah,
Obviously.
yeah, I'm saying beyond head to head, because what I'm trying to get at is if we win against Zagreb, we'd have 7, and if Salzburg lose to Chelsea, they have 6. And if we go into the last match day, um, okay, wait, no, that makes sense. Okay, yeah, we could tie and win and go through basically. Yeah,
Yeah, yeah, we have to win both of these games, and then there's the other combination. This is starting to remind me. of. But again, the referees are just in the way. But this is starting to remind me again. Like I always say, there's a parallel between this Milan and the '99 Milan that then became from '99, 2000, 2001, 2000T, and then 2003 is when the team transcended. This reminds me of that Milan, but we are in year 2000 now. You know, we still have to go to because after we won that Scudetto in '99, we didn't qualify for Champions League group stages for maybe the next two. I think it was the next two or the next three Champions Leagues, and then the third one after that, we just dominated and crushed it. So it's kind of reminding me of that right now. Um, but I think we can avoid that because I think we can beat Dynamo and we definitely can beat Salzburg. At that point, we will have our team back, hopefully. Fingers crossed, knock on wood, whatever it takes. And as long as we have our first team and we're firing at all cylinders, we can go far. We can go far. But obviously, because of our injury situation, it seems like we never get that. And even if we don't, like even with the team that we have right now, we can beat Dynamo in their place. I don't think we can beat Salzburg in their home, but I think we can beat Salzburg with the team that we have today with Tatarusano, blah blah blah.
Which, by the way, Magnan should be coming back, I think, for the Monza game.
I
Hopefully.
did read that. Yeah, Manyan could be back
That's
from the
that is
Monza.
huge. That is huge.
Yeah,
I'm hoping that okay, we have a lot of players in the World Cup, which by the way, I was talking to some other people. Napoli, I'm sure you've noticed this. They barely have anyone in the World Cup.
yeah.
So that's a huge advantage for them. We are going to be having Leao, Teo Hernandez, Magnan. I think will still be the number two goalkeeper this World Cup, so that's fine. Um, and then a bunch of other players. So that's not good, but at the same time, it does give I think good rest because even players like Leao who are really good and will play in the World Cup. Like for example, he's playing for Portugal. He's not going to be starting every game. He's going to be like probably. I don't think he's going to be a starter right away, to be honest, because they prefer other lineups. And with Milan, he's starting like every 3 days, so it's still going to be good rest for him, I think. Um, and I think it'll be a good if we can go into this period and after qualifying, like it's just going to be fantastic. Yeah, so I don't know. Like you said, we can beat Salzburg. I think I was also just trying to think of this other situation where, let's say we beat Zagreb, we would have 7 points. Chelsea tie Salzburg, so we would both have seven. So we Salzburg and Milan would have 7 points going into the last match day. Chelsea would have eight.
Yeah.
If we tie Salzburg and we're level on points, we'd have even points on the last match day. What would be the deciding factor that would send us or Salzburg through?
Well,
Just a goal difference?
so yeah, goal difference. So Salzburg. First of all, if we tie them, what? Uh, well, no, yeah, it wouldn't because it's not home and away anymore. So, goal difference would be the factor. So, the amount of goals that we score and don't concede in the Dinamo Zagreb game, and the amount of goals that they concede or score in Salzburg is going to be the next factor.
Yeah, that's so annoying because then Chelsea messed us up with our goal difference.
Yeah,
But again, Chelsea will be trying to. They're only 1 point above Salzburg, so they're going to be trying to beat Salzburg, even though it's not going to be easy for them. They're in really good form, so they should be able to beat Salzburg and hold Salzburg down for us while we hopefully gain some points. So yeah, we'll see. I was watching the Juventus game a little bit. It was so bad.
where is Don Guido? What does he think of Milan now? Ali left in dust. Don
Don
Guido's
Guido
pissed off at me. He's pissed off at
Don,
me. He said I'm not an Italian and I'm a piece of shit, and he left.
Don Guido is going to see the Milan Salzburg game, so he's lucky. But Yeah, he's also really upset about Adli because Adli never gets to play. And I think in this, like, if you can play Pobega, Benacer, and Tonali together, you can fit Adli there as well. So, like, you can sub one of those players for Adli. So I hope that he's gonna play, but I doubt it. This is Pioli's just kind of stubborn in this sense. Like, he doesn't think some players are ready, and he doesn't really give them a chance.
So if Benfica has to play Haifa, I believe.
Yeah, Benfica. If if a Benfica and PSG, first of all, Juventus has to basically win the rest of their games against
They have to
Ben.
be. They have to win both games. Yeah, if they want to go through.
Yeah, if yeah, so they're done. Like they're going to Europa League at best, basically,
So it's
because they're
Benfica Juventus next, and if they can win that, if they win that, they go to. I think they go to 7 points, and Benfica's at 8. And then Haifa has to
they go
beat
to 6 points, I think, because they're at 3 points.
over at 3.
But yeah, wait, can you go back to the group? I think that they're gonna need. Yeah, they have to win both games. Then they would have to be at 9. Yeah, so basically, they're not even in the. They don't even control their own destiny because even if they win both games, they still need either PSG or Benfica to drop points against the like
Yeah,
Maccabi Haifa,
yeah,
basically.
yeah. Maccabi Haifa so far has 3 points, well, just the one victory against Juve. Yeah, they screwed themselves with that loss. They screwed themselves. So now for them, it's going to be a miracle to go through. And they're going to go into the Europa League, most likely.
Yeah, and also Juventus has messed up head to head against both, so they can't even. Benfica and PSG need 1 point against Maccabi Haifa, and they're safe. So it's pretty much over.
Yeah. Napoli's gone through, one of the first teams of the Champions League to go through, so they're good. So that means the next game against Liverpool is not, or I don't know who they play next. Either Ajax or Liverpool.
They have to play Rangers at home and then Liverpool at Anfield. But by the time they play Liverpool,
Yeah,
if they beat Rangers, don't look good right now, and they're playing at home against Rangers, then I think they clinch first place in their group. So
yeah. I'm not expecting a very fought game between Napoli and Liverpool at the end, unless someone wants to fight for the first place. Yeah, but they've done their job, so good for them. Club Bruges playing better now. With
they look
they,
good.
yeah, honestly, I gotta be honest. Like when I was watching CDK's highlights in the summer, I was noticing how well Bruges plays. Like they're moving the ball. So I guess it translates to Europe too. How they were moving the ball, and it works. That system they have works. Look at this: 0 goals against.
Man, our defense has been for whatever reason slacking this season.
Yeah, the defense for us this so far has been very bad. Porto Atletico, that's very good. Bayern in this
Inter,
one here,
if Inter beat Poland, they
it's done.
qualify.
It's
They're
done.
done,
And Barcelona goes to Europa League.
and they're playing Poland at home. So Inter
Inter,
can go. I hope Inter go through.
I mean, at this point, they have won this duel with Barcelona, so they deserve to go through.
Yeah,
This was about Barcelona, Inter, and Bayern. The duels have been set. So far, Bayern is over Inter. Inter right now is fully over Barcelona. Has Bayern played one of these teams
yeah.
twice? Right?
Bayern has destroyed Poland twice. Look at their goal difference, and like they've scored 5 and 4 goals against Poland, and they've also beat Barcelona at home. But yeah, they have to go to Camp Nou next week. Or
Okay,
two.
so Bayern, Barcelona, Camp Nou. Okay, and if they win, they go to 7. But if Inter wins against Pla, it
Yeah,
doesn't matter.
then they go to 10, and Inter has head to head against Barcelona. So it doesn't matter if even if Inter loses to Bayern on the last match day and Barca beats Posen, they both would have 10 points. But Inter has head to head over Barcelona, so it's over.
And are you sure they count for head to head?
That's what everyone's been saying because everyone's been talking about Barcelona's chances because like they're
Okay, I see, I see. Okay, gotcha, gotcha.
Inter are looking like they're gonna seal it, which is good. At least we can get two out of the four Italian teams, and hopefully Milan can find a way through.
Yeah, I mean Milan's calendar from now on is not that tough. Knock on wood.
Yeah, but
It's
you say that, but
yeah, exactly. Um,
but the only thing that makes me a little bit optimistic is the fact that because we're not playing like quote unquote like a big club, meaning like with a huge fan base and stuff, maybe we won't get robbed by the referees in any of these games. Because against Atletico Madrid and Chelsea, we were robbed. Man United robbed. Um, you know, Liverpool. I don't think we got robbed against them, but it just feels super weird whenever we play.
oh yeah, there's something fishy going on. There's no doubt, no doubt. Well, listen, the next game is against Verona Milan, and I'm expecting Milan to win this game, at least try and win it. Then let's look at them. We have Verona Milan, then we have Monza Milan,
Of course, we get Monza now, who's like doing well, so that's annoying.
and also Monza, by the way, started doing well. Not only when the new coach Palladino, who I thought was going to be a much better footballer when I looked at him when he was younger. I thought he was going to have a better career about Palladino. That's an interesting thing about Palladino. But anyway, he's doing well, and Rovella, that midfielder, is really good. And all of a sudden now Monza is playing football. That midfielder is really good. Only 20, just turned 20. Very interesting prospect. Okay, then we have Torino. So all three of these games, at least how many points? 12?
I'm gonna be honest, Roy. I would prioritize the Champions League. Like, I think I would be if we have to bench like not like play Leao for the full games against Verona and Monza. I think it's worth it.
Well, I agree with that. Um, Nonetheless, we should be able to get 10 points, at least 10
Oh
points.
yeah, and also Christian just makes an interesting comment. The Primavera beat Chelsea's Primavera, or Chelsea's youth team, which
Yeah.
is crazy because Chelsea. I mean, I don't know if recently they've been much worse, but Chelsea has a really they're known for
Oh,
producing.
yeah, dude, they invest so much money in that Primavera. It's not even crazy.
We
It's
beat
crazy.
them. We drew them in London and we beat them at home. And also, it's also interesting because I think this our Primavera is like doing pretty poorly in the league, but we're doing well in the Champions League somehow.
We're doing poorly, but we're doing better than usual.
We're like in 10th place or
Oh,
9th.
really? Okay, so
Oh,
maybe
wait, hold
not.
on, let me check. I feel like we are. Hold on. So I think the Primavera is U19, right?
Uh, Something like that. I think
Yeah, I think it is.
U21.
We're in 10th place.
Really? Wow.
There's
That's worse
only,
than I thought.
there's only 18 teams.
That's worse than I thought.
Yeah, it's confusing. No,
Wait, there's only how many teams?
8 teams. So there's two less teams. So we're in the second half of the table.
Interesting.
Um, yeah. Okay, some people in the chat like have been saying that we've been talking too much about the referees, but you realize that when we had 11 versus 11, the game was pretty balanced. We were playing well. We were playing at home. We weren't
Yeah.
really inferior to Chelsea. So that I mean, when you lose, when you go down to 10 men, like what do you expect? The whole rest of the game is screwed. Now you can
Yeah,
say
of
that
course.
we deserved a red card. I guess you can have that opinion. Um, but even if it like that one little instance of, I guess for in my opinion, it wasn't a red. Like that messed up the entire game. So
Yeah, it's
you can't
obviously like what
you can't say
I,
that
I
we're superior to a team after playing 10 against 11 most of the game.
Dude, bro, like that's why, like, I saw these guys saying this shit, bro. I'm not even gonna like acknowledge you seriously because like it's a fact. You can't deny facts. Yeah, the referee made a terrible mistake and completely altered the game. Like there's no two ways about it. There's no way two ways about it. When even the players of the other teams say that, then I don't know what else you want us to talk about. Like, how can we analyze Milan yesterday properly? The only thing I analyzed negatively about Milan, which is the same thing that I saw tonight from Inter, is that even when we are 10, I think that we could have gone for it, like, and scored, try and gotten 2 goals. Yeah, maybe it meant opening up a little bit more, but this Chelsea is not that creative. So we did create some chances while we were in 10. What I would have done there, I would have taken out Krunic and Giroud straight away, 10 minutes into the second half, and then have Origi and Rebic. So basically, go for another 20 or 30 or 35 minutes with Theo Hernandez, Leao, Origi, and Rebic. And sooner or later, you're going to create a goal, you're going to score, and then, yeah, they're going to have to defend. But with quality, you can score goals. And I think you're 0-2, like you're losing. The mentality is, well, go for it. Try and win it. Try and do the impossible. Believe in the impossible. Like, instead defending a 0-2, to me that is just weak and cringe. And I don't like what Inter did tonight either.
Okay, well, I will say though, Chelsea did a good job of, because they had a man advantage. They were doing was just passing the ball around, and we were just chasing it, and they wasted so much time just doing that. So it was kind of annoying. But yeah, I think Giroud wasn't the most useful player against Chelsea because you need him to be on the ball more, and we were just bombing the ball forward, hoping for like today. Inter, for example, when Inter was playing against Barcelona, they didn't have much of the ball. Um, Wait, actually, by the way, Roy, just because I'm curious, is that former Inter youth player playing for the Chelsea youth team here, or do you think he's not? Like, is he too old? Remember that guy that
Oh, I
Chelsea?
think he's in the first team.
Oh, really? Okay, interesting.
Yeah.
Um, but yeah, because that kid could be really good. But yeah. Anyways, Inter, they were just bombing the ball forward at times, and they had Lautaro and Dzeko just kind of bothering Barca's defense. And to be fair, Barca had kind of slow defenders that weren't really good on the counter. Um, while Chelsea's players or defenders were much, they had a back three and they were much more solid. But yeah, it was a different game. Like, you have to be more mobile if you want to play like that. I think Giroud isn't really going to be able to do much in those situations. So
Well, in 11v11, yeah, he probably could have been useful. 11v11. I'm not saying he wouldn't have been useful 11v11.
he almost scored a goal.
Well, he almost scored a goal that while we were 10, while we were in 10. But 11v11, like, the team was pretty balanced. It was probably the best team we could have put on the field. Giroud would have gotten a few chances. You know, when it was 10 at that point, it's like, okay, well, Giroud, you don't need him now at this point. Just have the
Yeah,
wing, just use wingers and go with
yeah,
wingers.
yeah. I know. I mean, but also when you have more players, you can possess the ball more, and it's a
Right.
different game, right?
Correct.
But
Yeah.
also, I want to ask you this question: in January, what position should we get in the transfer market? Like, who should we bring in?
Quality. We need quality players now. Now it has to be technical genius players because otherwise Napoli's going to just go too forward. We need to
What
get
what
quality players.
position would you get?
Probably I would try and get Jacob Bakayoko, so a right
It's
wing.
Johan. It's Johan.
Johan Bakayoko.
Yeah, from the one you were showing.
Yeah, I'd probably go for him, and he's
So
on the
you want a
right.
right winger?
Well, it's not really because he's a right winger. It's just because we need quality. We need a lot of quality now.
But do you mean quality in the attack or the midfield or like what
No,
position?
we need geniuses on the ball. We need geniuses on the
So,
ball.
so it doesn't matter what position, basically.
It doesn't matter what position. Yeah, we need geniuses on the ball.
That's
Like,
kind of hard to find.
well, that Jacob Ojehan Bakayoko is one.
Yeah, I was watching his highlights. He does look really good.
Yeah, so because otherwise, I mean, we lost all of them this summer. Literally, all of them, all of the ones that we could have gotten are
I like
went.
here's an Italian that I like actually. We should eventually sign Parisi if we can. He's a great player.
Paris, if the issue with Paris is Theo Hernandez. I mean, if there's more like rotation, maybe, but
Yeah, but
I wouldn't want Paris in Milan because he would be on the bench the whole time.
Roy, you have to like big clubs. They
Yeah, but not at the expense of of one of the national team players or
he's on
future
national team players.
future national team players.
I
I wouldn't
know.
do that.
Okay, Roy, come on,
No,
man.
I wouldn't do that, man.
Dude, you're so annoying.
Dude, I would not. I would not sacrifice Parisi just so I can have a quality replacement for 2 games a year.
Honestly, I agree with R6 over here. Like, I would love to bring in a right winger as the main one, but also eventually we should get a young striker. Just a good young, technical, fast striker that can grow and become like very, just a clear goal scorer. Because we need to have someone who like is different, a different profile. Yeah, I think Origi. They were thinking that he was more mobile, which is true, but he's not consistent at all. So
Yo, dude, Origi, yeah, but Napoli, dude. I'm sorry if I'm raving too much about Napoli, but Napoli, man, Osimhen, first of all, is just so fucking dominating. But then you don't have Osimhen, you have Raspadori. Okay, I don't have Raspadori, you have Simeone. That trio, that offensive depth is out of this world. Out of
yeah,
this
I
world
will say that
offensive
about
depth.
Ozyman. Like he makes a ton of mistakes during the game. Like he's not really the most efficient player, but yeah, he's good.
Yeah, Napoli set themselves up really well. Berardi, don't we need it? Berardi is forget Berardi. The guy re-signed with Sassuolo. I don't know what the hell he's thinking. That generation we have to just let go. It's the new generation, the younger kids, the Raspadoris, the Scamacas, the
Oh,
Zaniolo,
did he score here? Wait, let me see this.
the Tonalis, all these guys. These guys want to play in big clubs. That generation, the Berardi generation, I don't know what the fuck is going on with that generation. Who scored?
I can't believe we beat them.
Looks like it was a scramble.
Eli Lally is a good like he's good at finishing. Who is that? Salah? Mohamed Salah?
What do you mean, Mohamed
Yeah, I think
Salah?
it's Salah. Chelsea. Maybe our Primavera is not as bad as people say. Divock Origi,
Man.
he almost scored.
Hashtag 20. Hashtag 20. Divock hashtag 20. Similar to Florenzi.
Florenzi's in the United States.
He's in New York. He's having a ball. He's having fun.
He's going to watch some baseball. Very fun.
As a backup Bataan now, we should be looking at experienced Italian players. Hmm. Who is an experienced Italian player that is available?
You're serious? They gave them a pen?
So, what do you think of Vice Varasilia now that you've?
Wait, hold on, Roy. Is this the right game? Wait, we scored 2 goals in like the last 7 minutes of the game with the 6 minute. That's crazy.
Oh shit! Really?
Look at
Wow.
and look at them. They're like bringing the ball back. They're like, come on, let's win this game. Wait, what do you say, Roy?
What did you think of Vice Varasilia right now? After
It's amazing. I think that I don't want to do this again because I think we should make a rule in this channel, like not to just try not to compare him and Leao, but because Leao is.
I don't compare it to Lau.
I know. I was
I
gonna say.
compare it to Messi.
Oh my god! Look at that.
Wow, look at that! All of them crazy.
Who's this kid? Who's this?
Number 10? No.
No. It's like
Wow, look at Bata. Cool and collected.
Longy.
I don't compare him to Leao, yeah?
I know. Yeah, I'm not saying you do. I'm just saying like.
I compare him to Messi.
Okay. I don't want to compare him to Leao just because like it just kind of I don't know. It feels weird, but he's just like I don't know. He's so clinical and he's just direct. That's what makes him so good, I think. But yeah, I think that I do think though, as much as he's a great player, it's you can stop him. Like I know you disagree with me. This is a great pass from Cheka Traore, but I
Wow.
think that when you play against him, like yes, he did cause some yellow cards with Calabria and Kjaer. When we had him locked in the first half, I think I think we were able to stop him. But second half, we subbed in Dest. If we had switched Kalulu to right back in that situation, I feel like it would have probably been we could have contained him for longer. But we'll see.
Yeah, but did you see what it took to stop him? Now Calabria's out until next year.
Well, that wasn't because of that game.
Well, that's when it all started.
That was like a yeah. It was a little no.
That's that's when
You
his
know,
muscle injury started because in that game, while he was marking what's his name,
I think that
Kvara
he.
Messi.
But like to be fair though, any player is stoppable. Um, like if you are well prepared. So like I don't want to take anything away from Vada. I'm just saying that as good as he is,
Yeah. No, you can stop him. No, honestly, you can stop any big player. The only thing about these players is that what you do when you stop them, they're still going to create one or two moments of magic, and it's just what happens when they do those moments of magic. How do you deal with them? It's just really about when it comes to defending these super talented players, you can't really stop them, but what you can do is minimize their moments of magic. And if you can do that, bring it to maybe even frustrate them out of it, and then take them out of the game mentally. Um, you can do that. Yeah, I'm totally aware of that. That can be done against anyone.
yeah. I think Leao, like against Chelsea, he had a lot of moments where he would he did the right thing and he was running down the wing trying to create chances. He gave some good crosses, which is good. I think though sometimes like he had some moments where there were some better passes he could have made, but he decided to try to take players on by himself, which was a little bit.
Yeah. Leao lacks the the ability to play with teammates. Um, right. So that is a skill, the ability to interact and have synergy.
I wouldn't say that he lacks it, Roy, but I agree with you that after seeing what Vicha did today, Leao could never do that. Like the way like Vicha was like the one touch passes and like the movement around each like the coordination with another player like that is something that is just yeah like that's like sublime.
Yeah, he doesn't have that in his playing style, but he has different qualities
Yeah, of course.
which are exceptional. So he has to just work on what his exceptional qualities are.
Yeah,
Milan has to do a good job at putting good players around him.
yeah.
Yeah, this is what really pissed me off. This is what pissed me off about Inter today. The seven defenders, like 7-1. It's so embarrassing. Like, why would you do that? Why
Roy,
would you play
you're
with
playing
seven
against a
defenders?
team that is gonna possess the ball and has more quality than you. So what else are you gonna do? If
You
you
don't,
if you play open against Barcelona,
but 7-1 means that you defend in your box.
yeah, but that you know why they were doing that because they could counter them and then create chances that.
No, no, no. That's not why that happens.
I
You
mean,
don't know why that. You don't know why that happens, don't you? I bet many people here don't know why that happens. Why do you think that happens?
well, you're gonna say that they were playing for a tie
Well, no. Why would they go at seven at the back like that?
because they didn't want to concede. Like they wanted to. They knew that Barcelona was dangerous. They wanted to have this, protect themselves.
Um, seven at the back means it can only mean two things. It means either the coach told them to do that, told them, okay, you, all you guys push in the
Oh
back
yeah,
line,
obviously, yeah, yeah.
or or because the Barcelona players are sending all their players on the front line, and the midfielders on the side are choosing to mark those players coming in, especially the wide players, and that's why it becomes a seven at the back. But you don't need to follow them. You don't need to follow them. What you can do is press the players with the ball in front of you and just don't allow those players to play any dangerous passes to those players on wing. So what you're doing, if you press a little bit higher and you don't follow those players and you keep a line of 5 and 4, then what you're forcing that team, your opponent, to do is to play long balls to the sides. Playing a long ball, forcing your opponents to play long balls to the sides is much better than giving your opponents the ability to cross balls from the side in the box. So it's mathematics, and you're not beating the odds by playing this style of football. Coaching, man, coaching with tactics, the art of war, Antonio, the art of war.
Yeah, I think that the one thing, Roy, that I would disagree with you about, like these games against Chelsea, like the first game against Chelsea and the game with Inter played today, is that when you have a tactical plan and like you are planning to sacrifice good football to get a result, I think that that doesn't mean that you had a bad game, and I don't think that's embarrassing. I think Chelsea against us the first game, yes, we know what happened. They were purposely sitting back and just trying to play on our mistakes. Just like today, Inter knew they were going away from home, playing against the Barcelona team that had to win, and they would have been very happy with a tie, and so they tactically set up like that because they knew that if they didn't, they would have. First of all, they won
No,
playing
but
basically like
four.
that.
Sorry, but I think you misunderstood something. You said sacrifice playing good football. I'm not talking about good football. I'm talking about strategy. And
They
I'm
had
saying,
they're
and
still forced to play ultra
if you
defensive.
wanna, let's be really specific about what we're talking now.
Okay,
So after Inter scored that third goal, there was 6 minutes left. In that
oh, you're talking
moment,
that's so after that you were disappointed? I thought you were talking about the whole game.
no, no, no. Well, I don't like five of the back, whatever. But I understand why they do it. I know, and you're right. Yeah, yeah. I'm talking about. the 7
Oh,
at the
oh,
back after the 3-2. So defending the victory at the very end, defending it that way is like you're going to give the team you're playing against too many chances. You know, it's almost obvious that they're going to score if you're going to defend that way.
I mean, I don't know. I think at that point they thought that there wasn't even like they had enough they played enough so that they could just had the
Yeah,
ball there a couple times.
big mistake.
Because I
Big
think
mistake.
Barcelona was going to obviously start with the ball after the goal, and after that happened, they knew that they didn't want to try to just start pressing, and they just stacked up. And
Yeah,
got,
look, Barcelona sent all their midfielders to the first line on those sides in that moment, and Inter followed them. They shouldn't have followed them. They shouldn't have followed them.
yeah,
You stay with the four with the five at the back. That's more than enough. That means that there's only one player that might be free or something like that, or not even in the more dangerous positions. Like if they're sending two players wide, right, for the overlaps, you don't need to defend that. What the fuck? Why are you defending the overlaps of the overlaps? This is the Italian mentality I've been talking to you about, Antonio. And this is actually this ties within the conversation I had with your dad.
Roy.
Why I don't like Italian coaches right now
Okay,
because of
wait,
what we saw
Roy,
tonight.
Roy. Okay, hold on. There's one thing I wanted to say and one thing to respond. First, like Hussein said in the chat, even though they were playing like that, after the 3-3, they still had another chance to win the game. And Aslani should have scored. By the way, Barella had a fantastic game today. But Aslani should have scored. Like I can't believe how and they almost still won by playing like that.
Yeah,
I
yeah,
don't
yeah. They could have won, but they shouldn't have conceded a second goal. They should have defended those 6 minutes in a different way, a different
okay, fine,
strategy.
fair,
That's it.
yeah. But I
It would
will
have
say
won them the game.
but after getting this result and for most of the game, like I okay, maybe not the first half. I mean, even in the first half, the way that Inzaghi set them up, they had some huge chances against Barcelona. They just didn't score, and Barca scored that one like kind of defensive mix up, and it was a tap in goal. But even then, Inzaghi's game plan was very good, I thought. And then at the end, maybe they should have defended differently. But they scored 3 goals at the Camp Nou, and they tied, and they basically have set themselves up to pass the group. I think that's good. That's overall that's great. It's very good for Inzaghi.
Overall, the result is excellent. I do not deny that. You cannot take that away from Inter
And
and
Inzaghi deserves a lot of credit.
I don't give him much credit because that kind of football to me is I don't think it gets you too far unless you have super experienced players that have done it every single way and know how to win in every single way, like Real Madrid. But otherwise, I think playing that way of football is I don't know. It's like it's a lot. It's a lot about luck. I just cannot watch a defensive line of five.
I don't
You
know.
know,
I think Inzaghi deserves credit for that. I don't really like him overall. I would say as a coach, like I'm not really a big fan of his, but today he his like sort of practical approach worked, and I think he deserves a lot of credit for it.
yeah, yeah, yeah. No, listen, he prepared the game really well, and they knew where to get them. They knew where their weak points are, and of course, someone asked me earlier, what do I think of Savi? This Barcelona, just not. It's not necessarily the people, or Savi or whatever. It's more the way this Barcelona was built is just very non-organic. It doesn't look like it can be the right chemistry to 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 play as a champion team. I don't know. I don't think it can happen the way they were built. But maybe we'll see. Maybe. Well, at this point, if this season is gone for them, if Inter wins the next game, this season is already a big failure for them. So it didn't. Yeah, if Inter wins the next game, then yes, this Barcelona experiment of selling their soul to get these players was an absolute waste of time.
Yeah. Xavi, I don't know. You can't really. I think he's a great footballing mind, but it's like when you put together a team, like you said, like you just get a bunch of these good players. First of all, I will say this actually. I think a lot of the players on Barcelona are extremely overrated. I will say Pedri
Yeah.
is fantastic. He was amazing today. He was kind of like a different. I mean, not the same player as Barella, different, but similar in the fact that he was running everywhere and he was getting involved both defensively and helping out with the attack. A lot of creative plays inside the box to create chances. Very great player. Gavi's didn't really impress me too much, and he's still, but he's very young, so he can improve. But he wasn't too good, I don't think. Um, Usman Dembele is one of the most overrated players I've ever seen. He scored a tap in, and the commentators, by the way, were so biased. I noticed he scores a tap in, and then he's like, and a couple step overs, he's the greatest player. But then every like the 9 times out of 10 where he gets beat in a one, like the defender beats him, takes the ball from him, he makes the wrong pass, he doesn't, he's selfish. All of those just kind of get swept under the rug, and it's one of those typical things where it's like a defender who makes one mistake gets like bantered for, but this guy makes 9 mistakes and one good play, and he gets like praised because he's like an attacking player. It's like the extreme version of that for Dembele. So that I think he's extremely overrated. Um, yes, he has quality, but that doesn't mean shit if you're like, if you're not direct, and if you're not effective. So there's that. Yeah, Busquets made a lot of mistakes today. He's getting a little older. Um, Lewandowski, he doesn't. Yes, he's a good finisher, but with Barcelona, he didn't really link up with the other players. And I think that they still have, which is I guess normal because you know chemistry is important. But he wasn't really linking up well for most of the game. Yeah, he had the 2 chances in the box and he did well to finish, but it's a lot. There's just issues with that. And their biggest problem for me tonight was their defending because you can't concede 3 goals, and they knew that they were going to be possessing the ball, and unfortunately, they were missing. Well, I guess I don't really. I'm happy they aren't going to go through. So fortunate for us, for me at least, because I like this result. But for Barca fans, they knew that they were going to have to play like this and possess the ball, and so they were going to have to suffer on counters. But they were missing most of their best defenders to injury,
Who
and
are
they
their
had
best defenders?
Kunde, Ronald Araujo, and I think like was there one other defender that was missing. But
And who
those are
was playing today?
PK, who was he's kind of washed. Eric Garcia, he's like kind of average. The right back was Sergio Roberto, who's pretty decent, and their left back, they started their left back with I forget who was their starting left back, and then I think eventually they should have, but they subbed in Balde. I forget, but yeah. So they were missing their like 2 big defenders, and that are more modern players that can track back. Uh, so I think that was big because you can't concede those. Yeah, Alonso was the left back, right? Um, yeah, that was a big problem for them. So yeah, it's I don't know. It's not just Xavi's fault. I mean, it just kind of seemed like, I mean, maybe he could have prepared it a bit better, but Barca were trying to win, and because of that, they were exposing themselves. And Inter, that was perfect for Inter to just go and to like get those big counter opportunities. So I don't know, just kind of basically like, this Inter just handled the game really well. I thought for most of the game. So
Mm. Yeah, it's far from the Barcelona that. Well, Nathan thought this Barcelona was going to be a top team. I don't know. I don't think so. I do not think so. In Europe, the teams that have played the best football are Bayern, Napoli, Club Bruges, and I guess Man City. Maybe Liverpool woke up today, but I think it's and then Real Madrid is being weird. You know, watch out for Real Madrid. They're always weird. Never count them out. Never count them out.
Yeah, hey Roy, I gotta head out because I have something to do. I will say though, my favorites overall to win the UCL is, I guess, I have to be honest, Man City. But I think that Real Madrid are always, like you said, they're going to be a huge threat, and they could win again. They can win all the time. And then I don't know. In Italy, Napoli looks to be the most like intense attacking team right now, so they're well suited to Europe. Yeah, so hopefully we can. I mean, I guess we're gonna have a little bit of a break from this, so more focus on the Serie A. But
Yeah, 3 games now.
yeah, we gotta
Three
go.
games in a row.
We have to qualify.
So now yep, we gotta win these games in the Serie A, and then we have to qualify. No excuses this year for Pioli.
Yeah,
We have no excuses not to qualify this
yeah,
year.
and if we don't qualify, then we're gonna have a discussion about Pioli. So, all right.
All right, boy. Peace out. All right, so let's just do last thing here. Let's just check something. Let's look at the table, the goal difference, and all of that good stuff. What the fuck is going on? Roy, what makes a great coach? Because I don't think Inzaghi or Xavi is that good. What makes a great coach? In my opinion, the number one attribute that a great coach has is, first of all, the way he communicates with players and what his ability is to transmit to players. Because you got to convince players to play the way you want them to play. So that is the number one thing that a coach needs to be able to do. Second thing that a coach needs to be able to do is understand what kind of players you have and how to make them play the best possible way in order for you to win. And then the coach that can do that is very good. And then the next thing that a coach needs to do is man management, managing the resources that he has through rotations, through different things, whatever. So all of these are, and then of course, tactics. But tactics comes with the personality, etc. Tactics are usually the representation of the personality. Um, and Inzaghi to me is a little bit of a coward, so it's hard for me to give him his flowers. I see a lot of cowardness in the way he approaches football. I'm just allergic to that shit. So I can't say he's a good coach because of that. I really cannot say it. As far as Xavi goes, I think Xavi's very green, and I think that Xavi if he had him in the midfield, and if he had Iniesta, if he had Messi, if he had Pedri and Busquets and Piqué, Puyol, all those teams, all those players in their prime, then today Xavi would look like a genius. But because this team is nowhere near what Barcelona is supposed to be, because of the way it was built, you can't really tell if Xavi's good or not. Because this team is built like a fake human in a lab. It looks like like it's a robot. The way this team was built. So I don't know how much Xavi can do with a team built this way. So I don't know what to say about Xavi yet. He tries to play tiki taka football. He has the players to do it, but the club is a mess. So you know he plays offensive football. I respect that. I prefer offensive football than defensive football. As far as coaches go, I think mm, I'm not sure. I don't even know who are the best new coaches coming up. I don't even know. I'm disappointed in Pioli a little bit. I want him to have more courage in the Champions League. It's the second time that after we go 10 men, one down, he makes very conservative decisions, and I think they don't pay off. I think it doesn't pay off. So I wish Pioli would do that a little bit more, be more, you know, adventurous. You never know what if you send out the troops, what they might find. We might find gold, but if you keep them home, they ain't finding anything. Um, Serie A looking decent right now in Europe. I did think that Serie A was going to look better this year because Serie A has become a little bit more competitive. And imagine if Juventus and Inter were super healthy right now. Imagine if both those teams were super healthy, how competitive Serie A would be. So we're not as competitive as we should be as a league because two giants are missing right now. But it is translating well in Europe. Napoli have put together a team of ballers, and they're going to go far. If Milan can win these two next games and maybe manage the post World Cup schedule with a little bit more relaxation, we can keep our players more, relaxed, more rested, and that could be interesting because when we have the majority of a team, like when we are only missing one or two players, the team is still extremely competitive. Especially if those players are not the goalkeeper. Like if you have Mike Magnan and then you're missing just one player or two players, like the team is super competitive. When you miss six, seven, eight, like then it's a mess. It's just a whole total mess. So I think if we go through the group stages, we can exploit the more relaxed schedule, even though not so much because I think that's when the Coppa Italia starts. So the further we go in the Coppa Italia and the Champions League, and we will be playing a lot of games, but we will be rotating more. I hope. And let's see where CDK gets. I want let's finish with CDK. Let's finish with CDK. Where is CDK going to be in January? Will he have played the World Cup? We don't know. Even CDK in an interview said, I hope I become better. Interesting words from him. Interesting words from him. He said, yeah, I hope I become better, blah, 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 blah. So obviously he knows, he's aware, and they've all made it aware to him that everybody's aware that CDK needs his time to develop, to grow, to understand the culture, to understand the language, to make Serie A his home, right? Make Serie A his home. Once Serie A is his home, CDK will be able to do what he did with Bruges. He'll be able to do that with Milan. But these things, depending on the person, can take time. Depending also how old you are, can take time. It really depends. Uh, CDK has the personality to become a top player, and through that personality, he can exploit what he has on his feet. Now, his feet are not I don't want to say exceptional. His feet are okay. We don't have a technical genius there. There's no technical genius there. In our team, actually, we don't really. Maybe Leao is starting to become one, but I don't think we have many tech. I don't think we have technical geniuses in our team. Do we? We need to get more technical geniuses. That's what we need, because the more you get these technical geniuses, everything becomes much simpler. Yeah, I mean, remember when Ibrahimovic is a technical genius. So we do have a tech. When Ibrahimovic played, and when he was in good form, the team was attacking very precisely. It was good. Passing was methodical. It was the timing. Milan kept the time. It's because when you have these technical geniuses, that's what happens. Everything slows down. Everything is more precise. Everything is more relaxed. Um, and that's what we need. We need that. We need more of that, because right now we're relying on just 100 miles per hour speed, kind of like a road runner or Forrest Gump. Just run, 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 run. But we need more genius. There's no genius in that attack and third. We have the qualities of Leao. Would you call them genius technically? Yes, I would say so. But Leao Leao creates his moments on his own. He will create the moments on his own. We need someone that we need one or two other people that are geniuses technically, but are also geniuses at how to play football with your teammates. We need that. And this Jacob Bakayoko guy is interesting. Um, I'm very curious to see how Adli develops. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know who's on the market. We'll figure it out. We'll figure it out. But in January, Milan definitely needs to improve as far as quality goes, because we should like we can't just be like Maldini says it's good the way it is. Yeah, it is good. You don't need to revolutionize anything. Just build on it. Just build on it. Cause uh yeah, we'll see who they get. We'll see who they get. But anyway, I think that's it for today. Barca should hire Allegri. That's hilarious. Um, uh, Good job, Napoli. Very good job, Inter. And that terrible job, Juve. And Milan is still in it, still in the battle. War is not over. Still battling. We're still in the trenches. So let's get it done. Let's get out of these trenches. On to the next stage. And yes, I do prioritize Champions League to Serie A. I think it is more profitable in every aspect. Footballing wise, financially, personnel wise, everything. So let's hope Milan can pass this group stages and then keep on building. And also, I do have to say one very positive thing. And when it comes to man reading, right, or reading people's psychology, sensing how they feel, what they say, Maldini, when he speaks about, you know, the team now making more money and being to invest more and more, and he keeps on saying, yes, we are going to keep on building, and we're going to get to that spot. The way he's saying it now, he says it with a different kind of spark in his eyes, and you can tell there's much more honesty, right? Because at a certain point, you could just tell that with Elliot, he was just playing the part, right? He had eye bags under his eyes. You can tell when Paolo Maldini is being fake and when he's not. Right now, he's obviously being 100% real, and he's very, very happy. It looks like he's very happy with how the team can build for the future. So, and also, I think Maldini now has that role that he wanted. Now, that role that he wanted with this new management is actually his. There's just a spark to him that he didn't have before. There's this, you can tell there's a light shining on top of him. While before, during the market and just before the market, you could tell there was this rainy cloud following him everywhere he would go. So these are very positive signs, and therefore I do think that Milan is going to build this starting from winter. Starting from winter, I think Milan is going to build, and let's see. I'm being optimistic. Roy, you think we spend money in the winter? Last we didn't buy no one. Yeah, I think this winter we will, because I think if obviously we have to go through the group stages. We just have to go through the group stages, and if we go through the group stages, we need to add another qualitative element. We have plenty of defensive players. We have plenty of runners. We have plenty of balance players. We have plenty of fighters. We have all of that. Now, what we need is just genius on the ball. Quality, quality, quality. And when you get a good bunch of quality players together, forget about it. Forget about it. They play art. Football becomes art. So yeah, CDK is the perfect balance between quantity and quality in that position that was required of. Now he just needs to grow a pair. Unfortunately, the guy has still not gone through puberty, so we got to wait for him. But it's okay. It's fine. It's part of life. People grow, people don't. So yeah, we got to wait for CDK. But now the wings, we can start to, and also the offensive depth, work on that offensive depth, as in the center forward position. I don't think we can do anything in the winter as far as the center forward, at least anything significant. I don't know whether or not there are players that are in the identikit that Milan looks for. The player that I have seen right now that is in the identikit that Milan looks for, young players, promising young players, is that Belgian kid. That Belgian kid will give you offensive quality, important offensive quality. I still know how Barca F up in the group. It's all about mentality. They also play with kids just like Milan. That's a good point too. Yeah, that's a good point. Uh, Play with a lot of inexperienced players. Yeah, yeah, absolutely. That's what happens. All right, guys. So yeah, just want to talk about the Champions League a little bit, about the games. So tomorrow, Roma plays against some other team. I don't know who. I don't know what does Roma have any chances in the Europa League? I don't think so. I don't think so. I'd be super duper super surprised if Roma goes into the final of the Europa League. I'd be super surprised. Not this year. This year, it feels like it's not about. This year, it feels like you gotta play football. You gotta play football. The real question: when is Red John showing his face? Well, maybe it's a good thing that he doesn't show his face. You know, maybe if he showed his face, people would get traumatized. So maybe he's doing a service to the world. All right. We will see you next time, guys. Peace out. Alla prossima. If we don't qualify to knock, I really hope we end up fourth and not qualify. Yeah, I agree. I 100% agree. I'd rather just focus on the campeonato. All right, guys. See you during the week. We'll do another live during the week. Peace out. Bye.